Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to this prayer meditation. And the subject of today is gratitude. Gratitude. And a number of you are streaming in. Blessings to all of you for taking the time out this morning to be in this little quasi time together. Um, as many of you know, this is a work in progress. Always get this stuff straight. And happy to be here, happy to lead us all through a time where we can focus on this subject, which is kind of an interesting one when you stop to think about it. Gratitude in a time when we're so besieged by stuff, and so love to your families, to your loved ones, which may include lots of things like the animals that surround us. Um, the beautiful weather we're having right now, at least here in Connecticut, um, and good sunny days and time. Boy, do we have time. So I got another minute here, and thank you all for showing up. And let's begin. So let's just consider the concept of gratitude for a second, just from the point of view that gratitude is part of our spiritual life. Um, I mean, whenever we're facing fear, whenever we're facing challenges, it's always important to step back and pause and to celebrate the great things and the grateful things we have in our lives, because those can easily disappear in the wash, as it were, of waves of negative and bad news, such as we're experiencing right now. So let me just read this. This is a particular definition you can find just about anywhere, but gratitude means, quite simply, to be thankful. To comes from the Latin gratis. I mean, many of us know that phrase. Pleasing, thankful, a feeling of appreciation felt and or by similar positive responses shown by a recipient, kindness, gifts, help, favors, or other types of generosity towards the giver of such gifts. But it's not just the giver of gifts. It's really stepping back into our lives to ponder how grateful we are for the things that we have, the affection that we've received, for the advice, um, for the opportunities that have been presented to us, and really to understand how even just being able to breathe the air that we have right now is a gift, and these are all gifts given to us by our Creator. And let me just step back into that theological world for a minute and just say that we are all divinely inspired. Every single one of us has a divine spark within us, whether we're practicing it or aware of it or not. These are the joyful realities of being human and the joyful parts of what we are. And when we stop and get all worried and cranky and resentful and angry and upset, we are really forgetting what it means to be human, what it means to be a grateful group of people. So we're going to start a meditation now to last a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of weave that into a prayer, and we're going to see if we can't walk away today from feeling some joy in what we are and who we are and what we have in this life of ours. And so let's begin. I always like to begin with a little bit of silence, uh, to center ourselves, to center our bodies and our hearts and our minds and our souls, and to feel God's presence in this time and in this place. Because when we can do that and we can shut the world down for a little bit, we recognize that we are connected, we are held, we are loved, and we are supported, especially in a time such as this. So Let's engage in some silence. Gratitude, gratis, appreciation, thankfulness. It's probably one of the elements of the golden rule that pervades almost all religious tenets, to be grateful people. Behind me in the room that is our sunroom is there's one of our it is our dog. His name is Atticus, and he is breathing really happily. He's just breathing in and out and in and out, and it reminds me that that's what we really need to be appreciative of on a daily basis, and we just take it all for granted. And I think that that's probably the basis of understanding gratitude is what we take for granted, especially in a time like this. We take our health for granted. We take the people around us for granted. We take our animals for granted. So let's pivot from that and just recognize what we have. Let's be grateful. Grateful for the breath. Grateful for the bodies that we've been blessed to have, for the ability to walk outside and smell the air, for the trees that surround us, many of us. Some of us have the ability to change clothes and go for a run and have the physical capacity to get out and do things. Let's be grateful for time. Time that otherwise might be preoccupied with work or things that concern us. Let's be grateful for the sun. The sun and its rays, which seem to penetrate even through the murkiest of clouds. I am aware that in my walk yesterday, I could see the flowers of myrtle that are growing, the deep blue of their color amidst its sprawling leaves and tentacles of green. And amidst all that, the daffodils that are now through the ground and getting ready, if not already, opening up to the sun, shining and dancing in the breeze, its yellow colors, reminding us that, all is going to be well. And in their world, they've been hibernating for 5 or 6 months in the darkness. And maybe that's kind of where we are right now. We're feeling a lot of darkness. And yet, we will rise through the dirt, and our roots will fasten, and our stems will grow, and our petals will open. Petals of love, petals of joy, petals of appreciation, petals of life. And yes, we're reminded constantly in the media that's really full of pictures we like, but we go back to gratitude. And I was thinking this morning of the doctors and the nurses throughout the world that are running, frantically trying to protect themselves and help those around us that are struggling. Grateful for their time, grateful for their commitment, grateful for their being open, grateful for their courage and their strength and their tenacity to serve those who are struggling, probably far worse than those of us on this call. Grateful for the institutions that are staying open, protecting themselves and helping us to protect each other. Grateful for the workers, those who are stocking shelves in a time such as this, keeping the grocery lines and the produce lines alive and well, moving produce, picking produce. They are basically on the front lines for us right now. They're providing us with the gifts of food, nourishment. And we're asked to honor that, to not hoard, to not panic, but to be grateful instead and recognize that we are given what we need by the grace of God, which is far bigger in this circumstance than any of us have probably ever known. And have gratitude for that. Gratitude for all the online presence now. I was watching Eckhart Tolle last night, and there are all kinds of leaders out there. Brene Brown is another, who are posting live and recorded sessions on how to get through this crisis. Pastors are converting their churches into online services and allow people to be part of a religious and spiritual community, even if they can't sit next to each other in their pews and listen to music and words of wisdom and calls to worship. Gratitude for the internet, for the chance to be on even something like this, a place to find gratitude. Gratitude in our animals who love us unconditionally all the time. Never once have I ever seen an animal not show its gratitude to us when we open the door to let them out. When we fill their bowls with food, when we see that their water bowls are empty and they are able to drink and look at us and say thank you. Gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude for time. Gratitude to step back. You know, it's human nature to want to complain, to want to have things that we are being denied right now, and to feel a sense of resentment around that, and some anger, some bitterness, some rage even. But here we are, chance to reflect. Gratitude for that. Gratitude for being able to pause and really honor the people in our lives, our wives, our partners, our friends, our family members, our brothers, our sisters, our children. I think of my children all the time, asking God to be upon them. I mean, in a way, all of this is such an opportunity to really, really think of others in such a way that maybe in our daily lives we do not, as we scurry around trying to create our lists and take care of our own self-centered busyness. So let's have some gratitude for that. Gratitude even for the angry moments that we have, of which there are probably many right now. People having to stay inside, people having to be in close quarters, people who are frustrated and easily irritated. But maybe in that time of real intensity, we're allowed to listen and hear and understand in a way that otherwise we might ignore. And maybe in that ignorance, we can be grateful for some of our own shortcomings, our own defects, if you will, that need to be looked at this time. Because we are in so close proximity to those around us who love us and who are just trying to help us. So let's be grateful for the things that we don't often stop to be grateful for. Because these are intense times. And intense times, adversity comes in many different forms. So in some strange way, maybe we need to be grateful for that. Because now we're allowed to look under the covers of who we are. Maybe we've got a whole slew of books sitting next to our bedside table that we have not even bothered to crack. If you're like me, you probably have 20 books that you bought a long time ago and you just haven't opened them up. Now's the time to open them up. Now's the time to reflect. Now's the time to read. Now's the time. Now's the time. And you know, it's not only that, there are lots of things you can do with each other, in the house that you have. There's purging to do. There's spring cleanup to do. Let's be grateful for hands that can still work, feet that can still walk, the chance to go deep, to think about humanity. I mean, we've had a few times in our lives, in my life, where I've had to stop and take stock of things. And this one is upon us, so we can be grateful for that. So while it's tough to be in a place of gratitude when all around us is swirling bad news, it is indeed that bad news that reminds us that we have to take stock of who we are and what we have. So I'm just going to offer a prayer and really the Christian tradition, I guess I could say it, the Judeo-Christian tradition, which is where I come from, and ask God to be upon us, to bless us, and to help us be a joyful people, even amidst the stuff that swirls around us, to know that we are not alone. We are not alone in this path. That we can find joy, that we can find laughter, that we can find peace, and that we can find calm. All the scripture points to the desire that God has to be connected with us. And maybe such as a time as this, we all have to stop and really think about that and be grateful for that. Because it's all too easy to get distracted. It's all too easy to get in the car, go somewhere else, shop. I mean, we're all a little addicted to almost everything out there. And it's time, really, to pull back and to find that within us is that divinity. Within us is this connection to something bigger than what's out there. And to find the peace and to find the comfort and to find the opportunity really to transform ourselves into beings of light and life and spirit and purpose. So God bless us and keep us this day and always. Thanks for being with me today. Have a great day and blessings to all of you who on the Sunday and the Sabbath day for many. I mean, really, it's kind of the Sabbath day almost every day for a little while. Why not enjoy it? And why not take advantage of all that is before us? Be well.